This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Hey, so I found some more old footage from a trip that I never made into a video for you, and I thought that this would be the perfect time since we're all probably still stuck at home. So this footage was from a trip that Nick and I took back in February of 2019, and it was really special, so I'm excited to share. So basically, we had a little weekend trip planned for Sequoia National Park, and as we started getting closer to that trip, we started hearing that it might be snowing in Joshua Tree, and this is something that we had been trying to experience for a really long time. I mean, it just sounds so weird, right? Snow in the desert, and we had heard of some friends being there when there was a light dusting of snow, and they said it was just magical. So the night before we were going to leave for the Sequoias, we decided that we would take a small, somewhat not small detour through Joshua Tree on our way up to the Sequoias so that we could hopefully experience it in snow. On that morning, we got up extra early to try to make it to the park before the snow melted, because usually when it would snow, by the time the sun would come out, the snow would melt within a couple of hours, right? So we tried to get there early so that we could see a little bit of snow on a Joshua tree, or maybe a light dusting of something on a cactus. We were just so excited, but as we started getting closer and closer to Yucca Valley, we realized that there was much more snow than we could have ever anticipated. Although it does get very cold in the desert, Joshua Tree generally gets about 5.5 inches of precipitation a year only. And when we visited the visitor center on this trip, one of the rangers told us that bigger snowstorms like this one only happen about once every 10 years. By this point, I really needed some coffee, especially because we had woken up so early, so we headed over to the Joshua Tree Coffee Company. Their stuff's organic and it's all roasted in-house, and the line's usually kind of long, but I feel like it's worth it, especially to support a local small business. We drove into the park and stopped in an area that's usually really busy with people that are rock climbing and bouldering, but it was completely empty on this day, obviously. We walked around some of the rock formations that were covered in snow, and the whole experience was just completely surreal to me. I don't really know how else to explain it. It was just completely wild, and it was cold and quiet and just so beautiful. After getting caught up in the magic of Joshua Tree, we got to the Sequoias and the lodge we were staying at a little bit late, and we had a little bit of trouble finding our place. It's so scary. Oh gosh. I think this is the right way. It was not, in fact, the right way, but we did find the right way eventually. We woke up to a fresh blanket of snow and the biggest icicles I've ever seen in my entire life. We went to the Grant Grove trails so that we could see the general Grant tree, which is one of the largest living trees on Earth. We were the only people there. There was one other car in the parking lot, but we didn't see anyone when we were walking on the trails, and I'm guessing they were pretty far ahead of us. There was so much snow that it covered the wooden fences that were on the sides of the trail, and I know this sounds cliche, but I don't think I'll ever forget that feeling of the warm sun hitting my face when I was looking up at those giant sequoias covered in snow. It was one of my very favorite experiences. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Squarespace is an easy-to-use platform to help you build your perfect website, blog, or online store with no coding or web design knowledge needed. With thousands of designer templates, there's truly something for everyone and every business. Whether you use the template just as it is or customize it into something all your own, you'll be getting a beautiful and professional looking online presence that your clients, customers, or fans will love. So if you'd like to see what Squarespace can do for you, you can get started with your free trial by going to squarespace.com/Alli Cherry, and when you're ready to launch, you can go to the same URL and enjoy 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.